sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so you sent us that Arsenal.com match report from the FA Cup clash against Manchester United. Really looking to do a deep dive into this one.
Sure.
Why this loss stings a bit more than just a typical cup exit.
Absolutely. And just looking at the report here, it's interesting how even in just the factual reporting, you can really see the emotional roller coaster of the match coming through.
It really does. And I mean, this wasn't just any loss, right?
Well,
we're talking disallowed goal, a red card, a missed penalty.
Oh, yeah.
All culminating in a shootout.
Absolutely a nail-biter.
So where do we even begin to unpack this?
Well, I think the first half is a bit of a tactical puzzle.
Okay.
Because on the surface, not a whole lot happened.
Yeah.
But I think that's where some of the seeds of the later frustration were sown.
You're thinking about that disallowed Martinelli goal early on?
Yeah.
I mean, even without VAR in this stage of the FA Cup, the report makes it sound like the right call.
Right. But it's more about what that moment represents, you know? Arsenal had a few other half chances, but United clearly came in with a game plan to disrupt, to be physical.
Yeah.
All those fouls in the first half weren't just sloppy play.
Right.
It was tactical.
So even though the score was level at the half, you're saying United was already kind of winning that mental game.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
And then you add in the Gabriel Jesus injury just before the break.
Ugh. Never like to see that.
Yeah.
Especially as it seemed like he was finding his form.
Precisely. So you've got a frustrated Arsenal side, and now they're down a key attacker.
Right.
That has to have some impact on their mindset coming out for the second half.
And that's when things went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Because
that second half was anything but uneventful.
Exactly. And I think understanding those early tactics is key to understanding why the second half exploded the way it did.
All right. I'm ready for some fireworks.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're primed for fireworks in the second half.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long for Manchester United to strike, did it?
No, not at all. And reading through the Arsenal.com report here, you can almost sense the frustration in the way they describe that goal. You know, a lapse in concentration, Gabriel caught out of position, and boom, Garnacho to Fernandes goal.
Classic counterattacking football.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm not even that mad about conceding there.
Okay.
It's what happened after that that really gets me going.
You're talking about the Dallo red card, of course.
Yes, reckless challenge on Martinelli.
Right.
And suddenly the tide turns completely.
And not just the tide turn. I mean, less than 2 minutes after going down to 10 men, Gabriel scores that beautiful equalizer.
Oh, yeah.
Almost makes you wonder if United was still mentally adjusting to the red card.
Yeah.
Because their defense was all over the place.
Talk about a momentum swing.
Oh, yeah.
From despair to pure elation at the Emirates.
Absolutely.
And you'd think with the man advantage for the rest of the match, Arsenal would just cruise to victory, right?
You'd think so, but I think this is where the match reveals a deeper problem for Arsenal this season.
Ooh, now you've got me intrigued.
Yeah, and one that goes beyond just this one result.
What are you seeing here?
Well, look at the XG for the match.
Okay.
Even with the extra man, Arsenal only generated about 1.8 expected goals. That tells me they weren't creating truly high-quality chances.
So you're saying it wasn't just bad luck or missed opportunities, but maybe a more systemic issue with breaking down a stubborn defense.
Exactly. And, you know, those missed chances by Havertz and Rice late in the second half, those weren't flukes.
Okay.
United had clearly figured out how to force them into taking low-percentage shots.
Okay, but what about that Odegaard penalty miss?
Yeah.
Surely that was just a case of the pressure getting to him.
Well, pressure is always a factor. I think you also have to look at where he placed the penalty. Almost right at the keeper.
Yeah.
Bangdeer made a good save, but Odegaard didn't give himself much room for error.
Interesting. So even that moment, which we might just chalk up to nerves, could also be a sign of a bigger issue.
Potentially.
But hey, one at full time. Yep. Still all to play for in extra time.
Right, though I think the fatigue was starting to show on both sides by then.
Yeah.
Neither team was as sharp.
Those late chances for Rice and Havertz in extra time felt like both of them were just running on fumes at that point.
For sure.
And ultimately, neither team could find the breakthrough.
Nope.
Which brings us to the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
And, well, heartbreak.
Absolute heartbreak.
Absolute heartbreak.
Yeah.
Just reading through that list of penalty takers in the report, it's like reliving that gut-wrenching tension all over again.
And while shootouts always have that element of luck,
Right.
I think the psychological impact of those earlier missed chances, especially that penalty, can't be ignored.
Yeah. I can't help but wonder if that weight was on their shoulders as they stepped up.
For sure.
To take those final kicks. But before we spiral too far down, the what-if rabbit hole, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Because even though this FA Cup run is over, Arsenal still have a lot to play for this season. You're absolutely right. There is still a lot of football left to be played.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
And the Arsenal.com report reminds us that there are some massive Premier League fixtures coming up fast.
Yeah, Tottenham at home midweek.
Oh, yeah?
Then Aston Villa.
Huge.
6-point matches.
Yeah.
Could be really crucial in a tight title race.
Absolutely. And this is where I think this FA Cup loss becomes even more interesting, you know, because it's not just about the result. It's about what Arteta and the team can learn from it.
That's a key point. You know, if you look at the match report simply as a record of what happened, you're missing the bigger picture here.
Right.
I think this game exposed some potential weaknesses that top teams will definitely try to exploit.
So looking ahead to these crucial upcoming matches. Tottenham Villa, even that Champions League tie against Dinamo Zagreb. How do you think this experience might affect Arsenal's approach?
Well, I'd be surprised if Arteta doesn't make some adjustments.
Okay.
Especially when facing teams that like to sit deep and defend. I mean, we saw how United frustrated Arsenal. And, you know, those other teams are capable of doing the same.
Do you think this might mean a more direct style of play?
It's tough to say for sure.
Okay.
But, you know, maybe more crosses into the box.
Yeah.
Maybe focusing on building through the midfield differently.
Right.
I think we'll see more emphasis on quick passing.
Okay.
Trying to move the ball around faster to pull those defenses out of position.
Yeah.
And look, even though he missed the penalty,
right,
Odegaard is still key to that.
Absolutely.
He needs to be at his creative best.
Yeah.
To unlock those packed defenses.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how they adapt.
For sure.
And maybe, just maybe, this FA Cup disappointment will be the wake-up call they needed to push them on to even greater things.
Exactly.
In the Premier League and Champions League.
It's certainly a possibility. You know, sometimes you need to take a step back to move 2 steps forward. And for Arsenal fans, that has to be the hope that this loss will serve as fuel for the rest of the season.
Well, we've certainly unpacked a lot here.
We have.
From that tactical chess match of the first half to the explosion of drama in the second to those lingering questions about those missed chances and that mental fortitude.
Absolutely.
This wasn't just a football match.
No.
This is a story.
It was. And like any good story, it leaves us with something to think about, something to debate. So for anyone listening who wants to go even deeper, I highly recommend checking out that full match report on Arsenal.com. Really dig into those details, analyze those stats, and form your own conclusions.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, we'll revisit this match later in the season. And see if those lessons learned really did make a difference. But until then, thanks for diving deep with us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Always.
Keep analyzing. And never stop learning.
Couldn't agree more.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what